What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 53 of the Tasty Cast, our weekly podcast where we react to things, we talk about things, we do a bunch of random shit, and welcome. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
I'm Chris.
And quick reminder, we have a Discord. Make sure to join that. It's in the description down below. You can go in there, you can talk to us directly, you can talk to the rest of the TLC, the rest of the community. You can even get advice from me on how to keep a PS4 that's not yours by calling it a cat. Yeah, and another quick reminder, make sure to play Knack and Rhyme. Both are free on PlayStation Plus. Play those, come back at the end of the month for Plus Club. We'll be talking about our impressions of those games. Let us know yours. And our game of the month is Ark Survival Evolved. Dinosaur, caveman, build some shit, simulator. We're going to be playing that and talk about that on our show, Game of the Month, at the end of the month. But with that, with every Tastecast, we talk about what we've been playing. I know a lot of us, if all of us, have pretty much only been playing Monster Hunter, as you guys probably have as well. But before we get into talking about that, unless you guys have other things that you guys have been playing, I wanted to just real quick talk about a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance. You guys probably already heard about it, especially if you follow the channel. We've talked about it a couple times. I picked it up. I've been playing it. And I just want to say, it's really fun. I really like it. So it is a medieval game where you play as a dude named Henry. And it's kind of like an open world, kind of like choose your own adventure. Apparently there's like 3-4 hours of cutscenes in the game. You're not going to see a lot of that throughout the game. You have to play the game multiple times to see most of the cutscenes. So there's a lot of different variations on what can happen in the game. So far in my adventure as Henry, it has gone from what you'd expect in a medieval time to some pretty bleak stuff that I think is really actually cool and impacting. The reason I'm bringing it up, though, is obviously I played it, but I'm liking it. But this is a game that's going to be very divisive because as I was streaming it, people would come in and be like, this game's shit. I played it and I returned it already. And I was just like, this game hasn't been out for 24 hours, dude. Like, you should have played it a little further. And people are like, well, it wasn't what I thought. And I'm like, well, it's not Skyrim for sure. This game is closer, in my opinion, akin to like Arma or Mountain Blade, thank you. Just because it is a clunky system game, but it's ambitious. It has a lot going on with it. Cleaning your clothes, making sure you take a bath, you have to like eat, stuff like that is all important in the game. If you walk up to somebody covered in blood, they're going to view you differently than if you were clean, or if you're dirty, people are going to look at you differently. If you smell bad, there's just a lot of interesting systems in this game. Having to eat, having to sleep, your guy will get tired. Like, this is like a full-on medieval simulator, and for people who are into history, it's really fucking neat. And I have to say that the storyline is also very good so far. Like, I'm actually really into it. I'm not going to talk about it because there's some pretty impactful stuff that happens early on in the game. But yeah, for people out there who have heard of it and are thinking about picking it up, or people who haven't heard of it, look it up, check it out, watch some of our prior episodes where we talked about it. And then I would definitely say, if you can get past some clunky systems and some UI, I don't know, it's not quite lag, but it doesn't really flow very well. I actually really like the way the UI looks, and the map is like drawn, and like where your position is, it looks like one of those little like a chess piece almost, but it's like your guy, and it's like facing the direction of where you're facing. But yeah, if you can get past those things, you'll find a really in-depth like medieval simulation that I've never seen before. This is the most accurate I've seen a game be in that sense. They talk about things that, you know, if you're into history, you're gonna pick up on, and the world is built in a way. Apparently, it's built off of actual satellite imagery and stuff like that, so it's like accurate, but like, even walking through the woods or whatever, the amount of detail to every single area that you probably would never, there's no reason to actually like be there. It's not bringing you there, but I'm looking at shit, I'm like, this is so detailed, it's insane. Like this actually feels like a living, breathing world with rolling hills and stuff. It's a very, very cool game in my opinion, but for people who are not going to like it, completely understand. So, but that's just a recommendation. Have you guys seen anything, heard anything on it? Obviously, we've talked about it a little bit. Any opinions on it?
I mean, you kind of talked to me a little bit about it throughout the day, and I mean, it sounds neat, but I still I don't see myself playing this game. Just like I've said a million times, the openness of it, and then even after watching it, it seems neat. It'd be something I'd be willing to like watch someone play, but I just can't see myself getting into it. So
Now, there's actually a game that I would almost want to play in front of you just to show you some of the aspects of it. But yeah, I didn't think you'd be like one to play because I know you like a more not linear experience, but something that's more like you have a direct.
I need a checklist.
You need guidance for sure. Yeah, and I get that. I actually got kind of overloaded on open world games and still kind of am. In fact, when I was younger, like I would play an open world game and I just like live in it, like go do a bunch of random shit. Now as I've gotten older, because I've played so many open world games, and a lot of them have so many algorithmic objectives they just throw into the fucking game. Like there's just like a system now. It's all random. Like, oh, fucking help this dude get this amount of money, get this experience. That it kind of it's just kind of a fucking blur. That like now when I play an open world game, I just do the storyline. And if I find something on through the storyline that I'm like, that looks interesting, I do that. But I don't actively go and experience the open world. So right. I get where you're coming from, especially as I'm getting older, playing a lot of the linear games that came out in 2017 and now in 2018. I'm starting to get back into loving that like driven story of linear gaming. So I get to each their own, obviously.
Right.
And Chris doesn't give a fuck.
I mean, I don't mind open world games. I enjoy them. I kind of just randomly go throughout things. But the aspect of having to take care of every little nitty gritty detail, which is nice for some people, sounds a little bit overwhelming for me at this moment. Maybe in the future might be appealing to me, but as of now, Monster Hunter is enough of like details, like crafting this and memorizing this and getting this and this. I don't need to remember to bathe myself every day and sleep every 8 hours. I have enough trouble doing that in real life.
You don't have to do it every day. Just when you're meeting some kind of fucking higher up person, when you meet someone who's dressed nice, you need to make sure you're bathed or walk up and smell like a pig. They're gonna look at you like, I like how disgusting you are. It gives you moxie. Anyone else? Everybody else is like, oh god, I need to
dirty boy. I
need to look good for him, and they're like, hey, you don't give a fuck about anything. I love it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So not for everyone for sure, but definitely check it out. I absolutely recommend it to specific people, but everybody should look into it. Yeah. So unless there's something you guys have played other than Monster Hunter, let's talk about Monster Hunter. Now, of course, you guys are playing it still quite a bit. I finally took a small break to play Kingdom Come, but I've still absolutely been playing Monster Hunter quite a bit, just to kind of set the pace. I am almost at 50. I'm right now wearing the Nergigante armor. Got the full set. Got like 4 rank 7 to rank 8 bug glaives, and I got like about 2 rank 7 to rank 8 heavy bow guns. So working on the Legiano one right now. It's a rank 8 one. Looks like a fucking rifle. Looks dope as shit. And yeah, so far a lot of the monsters are becoming kind of easy where I'm at in the game. About 130 hours into the game. But I'm not doing tempered monsters yet, so I can't really speak yet. I'm just saying for high rank, it's getting a little easy. I'm getting to that point. So I'm looking forward to the challenge again, because that was my favorite part of the earlier part of the game, is like planning the hunt, planning if I'm going to capture things. It might be more beneficial for me to lure it, bomb it, and then fucking hit it with the trap, versus now I'm just... It's like, Wah! And then it dies. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, and I'm also obviously looking forward to G rank. That's gonna refresh the whole fucking game, which I'm still really digging. And yeah, you guys want to update us on where you're at and what you're doing?
I have barely progressed since last time we talked about it. I think I am just barely over 60 hours. I'm rank 13 because I keep doing optional quests instead of the main story. And me and Chris played a little bit last night and finished my Clifford set. So that's where I'm at.
Cool. Chris?
I finally beat the storyline, so I'm Hunter rank 29 now.
Nice.
30. I'm just kind of at the point where I'm finishing off all of the weapon trees for the charge blade. I mean, like all of them. Like the last one, or some of them are finished. I think I have 2 that are max level, but I got like a few more that I'm working on, and I'm already trying to figure out what weapon I'm gonna do next.
Yeah, I get overwhelmed if I start working on like. For a while there, I was working on like 5 different weapons at once, trying to get them all up, and I was like, towards the end of a lot of these trees, man, I gotta like really kill the shit out of one specific kind of gnarly fucking guy. I'm just gonna focus on that and knock it out. Cause yeah, I was like, I guess I could go do that. I wanted to do this, but then like I got caught up on fucking Val Hazak for like ever, and finally fucking got my goddamn fangs, all 5 of them, and I found out I gotta get 5 more for another fucking bug glaive. So that's cool.
I gotta get 7 more to finish 2 of my weapons.
Ugh. Dude, it's funny because like I've fought Val Hazak so many times. I have his full armor set. His fucking death breath doesn't do shit to me anymore. But fucking that fight is easy as shit. And I fought the guy, I'm not joking here, like 30 or 40 fucking times.
Mm-hmm.
I got those 5 fangs, and it took forever, and I don't want to do it again. I think he's a really cool dude. He's a really cool dude. I've hung out with him a lot. I don't look at him ever anymore.
I haven't even fought him yet. So.
I'm sick of it. If you need help fighting him, I'll kill him for you. I got a system down. I fucking, from this room to this room, I fucking do certain things. I hit those things, knock him onto his head, because you want to hit him in the goddamn head so you can get his fucking fangs.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Nergigante, I needed his horns. That shit wasn't happening.
That's easy. That one, I had no problem with that one.
Well, here's the thing. I did it in solo, and it was easy. When I played with people, that shit wasn't happening. But, luckily, apparently the Nergigante gem is kind of hard to get for certain people. They work days and days and days to get it. I got it like my 3rd fight.
I got my first carve off his tail.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got it pretty quickly too. I know people though. I know Almexai was having problems. I don't know if it took him that long, but like I've heard people online too. I looked it up. Fucking people are like having like a shitload of problems getting that thing. And I think I've gotten 2.
That's that RNG for you.
Yeah, which I always kind of love, but at the same time, it sucks being me wanting those goddamn fangs, or Chris now having to do the exact same thing. I feel for you completely.
Ugh. Yay.
What are you working towards right now? What are you killing for it? And
I was finishing all optional quests, so I only have, I think, 6 more to go.
Completely?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I have. I think all of rank. Not all of. I've done like 4 of them, but like I mostly have my rank 7 area that I need to complete because I skipped over it because I had beaten the game already. So I'm like, I'm gonna start fucking killing the shit out of certain things to try and get my equipment, and I want to go back and finish it out. And then I keep getting arena quests that pop up after I capture certain things. So I'm like, I gotta go back and do those. But other than that, I've got most of my optionals done too.
Either of you seen a high rank Kirin yet?
No, not yet. Me and Chris both did the double Kirin thing. Which, the point where I was at, it was a little too easy. Chris also seemed like it wasn't too bad for him. I literally went in there, and both of them were standing where Legiana normally hangs out. And I started going, just hitting both of them, and they're both just fucking shooting lightning everywhere. And I'm just going, and finally one like ran away, and I just start chasing after that one, like a fucking cheetah chasing after a weakened animal. I start beating its ass, pretty much. And I killed the fuck out of it. And it was really convenient because like as I killed it, I look over and fucking the other one just comes walking over the hill all slow, just looking around like, I was like, hey, remember me? And I fucking ran at him. I started beating his ass. But then, this is where the time took longer than I'd like, because the fight wasn't hard. It started doing its running shit. It started fucking skipping up the walls, just fucking getting up that moss, and like running through all those cracks and crevices. And I'm just like chasing around through the mountains. I'm like, oh my god, dude, sit still.
Yeah, the only reason I even asked is the charm I'm wearing. Supposedly, if I looked it up properly, which I may not have, but supposedly the 2 pieces I need come off a high rank Kirin, and if neither of you've seen it, I'm wondering if it even exists.
I'm pretty sure it does, because Almexai said that at 49 you can't progress any further without killing 2 Kirin, and I believe that's probably 2 high ranks, because I saw Kirin something plus on one of my weapons. I have a bug glaive that I'm working on.
You need the horn and the mane.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's an event right now where you can fight 2 Kirin, low rank, and that's the one me and Chris did, and it's pretty easy for me. But like, I don't think it'd be that challenging for a lot of people, especially if you separate them. So, and it'd be a really good way to. Can you do events over and over again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be a really good way to get Kieran parts.
Yeah, I don't need the low rank parts.
Oh, at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there is then. There has to be if you need that. Like,
well, like I said, I'm under the impression that I do.
Yeah.
So as long as it exists, then I read it correctly. Otherwise, my source was wrong. So
name your sources. Who are they? Fucking fake news. So anywhere you're heading towards in the game? Anything you're after?
I need to make a rank 7 weapon or an 8 weapon at some point, and
you're still using the longsword.
Yeah, I have 4 of them now. They're all rank 6, I believe. One is water partially because you have to use the what the hell is that called?
Free element.
Free element, and that's the charm I need to upgrade because right now I only get 33% of the element's effectiveness. So my water is like 30 water damage, which is goddamn nothing.
Yeah.
My paralysis one is 60 paralysis because it's only 33% awakened or opened or whatever. And then I have a fire one from Anjanath, and that one I don't need that charm for, so it's full fire damage. And I also have, the hell is the other one?
Poison one. Don't you have a poison?
Poison, yeah, Rathian, which is completely. I don't need the charm for either. So.
Yeah. Anything else, Chris? No.
No.
I'm trying to finish up my Nergigante Bug Glaive because apparently it does really fucking early damage. I'm almost there. I'm gonna have to fight Xenojiva though. Hopefully one last fucking time for that. That fight really goddamn, just the length of it, it's kind of annoying. But I'm using the Anjanath staff right now, or Bug Glaive, which isn't as good as some of the other ones I have, but its fire damage is already really high, and its damage is pretty high, and then I have, like, I think I'm level 7 on attack, plus attack, so I have quite a bit of attack on my guy, and then I think I'm like 5 or 6 on fire, so, like, my guy is doing a shitload of damage, which is pretty cool. So, and then with the Nergigante armor adds to that, also allows me to heal when I'm hitting people, has a chance of healing as you're hitting them. And then I'm using the helmet that's the fucking eye patch. That,
Dragon's Eye?
Huh?
Dragon's Eye.
Yeah. And that allows you to do more damage to critical spots, essentially. So my guy's pretty much decked out to be doing damage since I rely mostly on agility and mobility to dodge and not block and stuff like that. So
yeah, I can't block either. I have to dodge. Otherwise, happy accidents happen, like when me and you were fighting Diablos, and Black Diablos decided to just kind of swing his head sideways and one-shot me.
That was an annoying fight. So I've been going through this game for a while now. It's kind of like passively killing shit. And every once in a while I'm like, oh, that's a little difficult. Especially now. And then me and you went, and I can kill Diablos, Black Diablos on my own pretty fucking easily. But me and you went in there. You're a little lower rank than I am, of course. But that two-person Diablo situation bumped it up. I think the first time we tried to do it, you were using a weapon you couldn't really get in there and hit him with.
I was using my longsword, and I was having a hard time getting to him, and both times we tried, Black Diablos wouldn't fuck off. He just kept showing up.
Well, and that was the thing that was really annoying. It wasn't even necessarily like any of the two or two together were like a huge threat. They were just exacerbating the fight. Constantly, you'd be trying to fight the one we're after, and the other one would just run up and fucking hit us, and then start fighting the other one, and then whoever wins the turf war would hang out while the other one ran away. We chased after fucking the one we're after like 3 different times because he lost the turf war, and then fucking I'd be in the middle trying to fight the guy, and he like turns and runs after somebody else, including Black Diablos, and I'm like, this is a clusterfuck. By the time we're done, I was like so annoyed with that fucking fight because there was just nothing happening. It was just bullshit. Like, ugh. It was fucking so annoying.
Yeah, and then the second time I switched to the bow just so I could like make sure I could be at least consistently hitting it. And at one point, I mean, we had to be getting close to killing Diablos finally, but I was running up to get out of the way or something like that, and Black Diablos wasn't even looking at me, and he just turned around real quick, and it didn't even look like an attack. It just kind of looked like he bumped me with his horn.
Yeah, it was weird.
And he one-shot me. And I was like...
Yeah, you were fine.
Right.
I were fine. I was fine. We're like going down that fucking like ramp into goddamn Diablos' bedroom, and fucking Black Diablos is looking down. And then all of a sudden he just went, or she went, "Huh," and fucking just turned around real fast. And she was like dead. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see an attack.
Fail at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, it just like moved fast. It was like Dragon Ball Z. I didn't see the fuck what happened. All of a sudden you're just like, and just blew up in the sky. It was fucking horrifying. I was so fucking done too. I was annoyed with that fight, and then that fucking David Copperfield, David Blaine bullshit happened, and then it was just over. And I was like, I'm done. I fucking can't stand this shit.
You got your item after that run.
That was the yeah. I needed Majestic Horn.
Yeah.
And even though we fucking failed it, I still got it. So I was like, thank you. Because I don't want to do that again. Not right now, maybe later. But that was an interesting fight. Other than that, I've just been spamming the fuck out of Nergigante and Balzac. And Tobigachi, but that fight's like fucking 5 minutes for me, so it's like, I just feel bad. I just walk in there and go, bap, bap, bap. It's like, no! And I'm like, bap, bap, bap. And then it's over. I'm like, I'm done doing this, man. I feel awful.
Time to start doing the tempered stuff.
Plus with, yeah.
Chris was saying to me last night that the tempered fights can improve your armor even more, apparently. So
that's what I've heard. I don't know, though.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I only did the one tempered fight.
Obviously, I'm fucking way behind you guys.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say something, and I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. Anything else you guys want to say on Monster Hunter?
It's fun.
It's fun. If you're one of the only people out there who haven't bought it yet, you should buy it.
It's funny every once in a while I see a comment online where someone's like, I just don't get this game, or something like that. And
Yod monsters.
If
that's what you do.
If that's like the only thing they say, it's funny how understanding people are afterwards. They're like, oh, it's not for everyone, blah, blah, blah. But everyone else will someone be like, I don't get this game. What's, and they start going like, what's the point, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh, okay. You went from saying, it's not my game to, it's not my game and it sucks.
Man, fuck this game. I hate hunters and I hate monsters. I like football.
Pretty rare, though. I mean, obviously, they shipped out over 6 million copies, so.
Yeah, they're doing great. Fucking keep trucking along. What do you guys think about, I think it was IGN or GameSpot, one of the two. Somebody wrote an article, obviously it's not representative of the whole website, but it was a single person's article writing about essentially the cruelty of Monster Hunter. So obviously we're playing a digital game, nothing's real. But they're saying like, you're going into their habitat, you're hunting them down, you're beating the fuck out of them in their home, and then when they're like limping away and like crying out in pain and shit, you're like chasing after them and killing them, just to essentially poach them. And I was like, holy shit. Like that's a bleak place you went playing that game.
I'm just gonna keep it really simple.
But we don't have to get overly political.
If you can't separate fantasy from reality, that's not anyone else's problem.
Well, and that person probably played a lot of games where you shoot people a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're playing, I'm going to get a little graphic here, but like you're playing a game where like you fucking, and it's never going to happen, but you play like a rape simulator, that's an issue. Like that'd be crazy. The intentions behind that is weird or whatever. That's extreme. But like when people take these fantasy scenarios and fucking equate it to like real life and real life morality, I'm just like, don't play it, first off, if you're not into it. But secondly, like, there's no ill will or malicious intent behind the game. Monster Hunter is a game that's been around for a while. That was based off a simple premise. You're fucking essentially cavemen with upgradable weapons who are hunting fucking monsters. It's taking after that whole like tribe having to hunt to survive thing.
Right.
And so, killing an animal is rough, but people had to do it. Now the game has been out for a while now. It's developed an environment and charm to it. There's an atmosphere to it. There's characteristic. When you play Monster and you expect things from it, but it's still at its core that same game. So to confuse it with you're just going in and torturing animals or whatever, I think is just somebody looking for something more than there really is. They're not looking at the whole picture. They're looking at a very simplified view of something.
Yeah, it's the same when someone doesn't play something, they see it, a snippet of it, and then become a professional on the matter real quick and start being a keyboard warrior over it. So
For sure.
I don't get it.
It's like the no Russian thing. Old news, of course, but when Modern Warfare 2 came out, and there's that level called No Russian, where you played as a special ops dude who had infiltrated a Russian group of people, and they're going into an airport to shoot up everybody to create this big scene to essentially
Start war.
Start a war. Yeah, and then they fucking shoot you at the end. You can openly unload on everybody in that airport, or you can not shoot everybody in the airport. There were so many, not real people typically, but IGN and a bunch of other websites who were like, this is horrible, this is awful, I can't believe they put this in the game. And then I watched a podcast where there's 5 of them, and this guy's like, I didn't do it, I didn't shoot anybody in that part. And they're like, did you? And they're like, no, of course not, I would never do that. And I'm like, it's a fucking video game, dog. You play Grand Theft Auto, I guarantee it. I guarantee you've done some fucking heinous shit in that game. And the point, and the thing I like about
it's supposed to be awful.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Fucking, I'm getting on a tangent now, but I'm just why do people do shit like that? Fucking take it to it's like they're worried about the people watching them and what they're gonna think about them if they say what they did. I played that fucking part. I shot everyone in there because I was like, I'm playing this guy. Fucking, he's expected to do this. It's awful, but this is that Black Ops shit. And fucking the point is you're supposed to experience that atrocity from their perspective. That way you can really not like the villain. You get from their perspective what they're capable of because you're there with them to do it. I mean, I think it enhances and builds the character further than if you just hear, oh, they shot up the airport. Well, that's awful. But if you're there and you see it and there's innocent people getting shot, you're like, this is fucking insane. And then when you beat the guy later, you're like, you deserve this motherfucker.
Yeah. And I want to let Chris talk, obviously. But it's exactly that. You want to... It's more impactful to see awful things happening from an awful person to create this villain versus just doing that. This guy acts like a bad guy, so he must be the bad guy.
And he wants to destroy the world. He wants to do it.
It's cheesy.
Yeah.
It's not believable. Yeah. You're just okay, yeah, I get it. You're the bad guy. There's nothing there. Mm-hmm. It's a hollow shell.
Which is a big problem with a lot of superhero movies, is they always just have a bad guy that you have to have read the comics to really be like, hey, he's really evil, or not read them at all. It doesn't matter. Fucking just watch the movie,
right?
And they're like, oh, I wear a lot of black and I'm snarky and I'm gonna fucking make a crystal that destroys the planet.
Yeah,
we gotta stop it.
Here's my obvious thing that makes me the bad guy versus some dude who all of a sudden you're constantly watching them do awful things, and they're not trying to sit there and act like I'm the bad guy. They're just a fucking guy with a different idea, you know what
with
I mean?
Ambitions and motives and all that shit. Yeah, exactly. That's the fucking thing. Anyway, off track. Chris, what do you think about the Monster Hunter controversy and anything? What's allowed to be in video games?
I mean, it all comes down to an argument of censorship. Is what we're arguing about, and it's hard to say. Because some people are offended by some things and other people aren't. I don't think there's anything wrong with Monster Hunter, personally, and I'm not just saying that because I enjoy the game. I personally do not advocate for hunting. I know people enjoy it, that's their thing, but I'm not for it. But I can play this just fine and not feel bad about it. Because there's crucial components to the game that I think people are not aware of when they don't play it extensively. And it's been crucial throughout, I would say, all the games I've played of it, is that the monsters you're hunting are not usually part of the natural ecosystem in the area you're hunting them in, or they've gone out of control.
They're not even
as
sorry.
Animal handler. It's all right.
I'm heated just thinking about this shit.
But I mean, even that aside, it's not like you're eradicating these monsters. And they are monsters. Like very, very few of them look like real life animals. I mean, you could say the Kirin because it's horse-ish.
Look at that fucker's face. Tell me it's a horse.
Right. Or the Kelby because they're very deer-like. But those are minuscule monsters that the Kelby are. That
if you watch Berserk, Kelbies are fucking dickheads.
Yeah.
I hate Kelbies ever since I watched Berserk. I've seen Kelbies in a bunch of games. Obviously, they're from some kind of mythology, but I saw in Berserk, they are fucking evil. I was like, fuck Kelbies. Every time I see them in games now, I'm like, oh, you're not some cute little water deer thing. You're a fucking piece of shit, evil, malevolent bastard.
Yeah.
Plus, I gotta say real fast.
For sport.
I gotta say real fast. Fucking Anjanath and the rest of the fuckers are not real. They're monsters. It's not like it's a simulator of like torture an elephant. The game 2018.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you're not hunting them for sport. You're using everything you can off of these monsters. You're not mounting monster heads in your wall, collecting their skins, and decorating your room with them or something.
I wouldn't even care about that. I mean, fucking, I would love to have Anjanath's head on my wall.
Yeah, it's just a game.
Yeah,
I get it, but I don't think there's anything so. It's not like they're showing you, like you said, slaughtering elephants and hunting, endangered species out there.
There's no part where fucking you're chasing after fucking Tobikadachi for like 3 hours and finally get so tired that like you're able to like shoot it with buckshot, and while it's bleeding to death, you like saw its fucking tail off with a chainsaw while it's still alive. Like that shit happens in real life. And if the game was like that, I'd be like, wow, this is a really extreme game. I wouldn't be offended. It's a video game, whatever. But I'd be like, wow, like that's not really the game I'm wanting to play.
And I think that just wraps around to what I said earlier, was separating fantasy from reality. Like, I don't know, an intent.
Yeah.
There is no ill intent in the game. And like you said, they're not like intentionally trying to. I mean, if we want to get real, what Eidos did to Lara Croft is a little on the border of intent. And
with what?
Just like how violent they were about killing her all the time.
Yeah, it's really hard to get under my skin or shock me with almost anything, unless it's like real shit. But like, I played that game, and for a split second, I was like, what the fuck am I playing? There's literally a part where fucking I got caught by a dude while supposed to be sneaking, and he grabbed me by my throat, lifted me in air, full grown man. I'm a chick, whatever. She's got guns, she can defend herself. But like, this dude just picks her up by her fucking neck, starts choking her. She's like slapping at him and trying to get his hands off, and he's choking her still. And like, I have no control over this. It's not a quick time event. It's a death scene. And he's still choking her. She's like losing breath. Her eyes are rolling back of her head and shit. She starts choking, and he's still choking her. And I'm still watching. I'm like, kill her, dude. Like, what are we doing? Why am I watching this? What the fuck is this? And then another scene where fucking she goes to pull a gun or something, and the guy like grabs it and ends up fucking pulling the trigger and shooting her in the side of the head. And she starts going, and her eye rolls in the back of her head, and she has a hole in her head. I'm like, and the scene just is still there. I'm like, what? Like somebody made that.
Yeah, that's more glorified.
It's
right?
weird. It's glorification. Yeah, that was do it. Obviously, I played the fucking game, and it's not that big a deal. But I questioned it. I was like, what's the intent there? Are like, is this gore porn? I thought this game was about a heroine fucking, surviving these, hard odds against all these people. And like when she dies, it's like, look at her fucking die. And I'm like, it's kind of like tonally weird.
And then I gotta say, I'm not trying to pick on Tomb Raider. I don't have a problem with the game. I'm just saying that
fuck you, Tomb Raider.
If we're going to
Drake's better.
If we're gonna complain about the violence in the video game or the supposed intent, like pick a better example, I suppose. So
I mean,
there are better ones.
You always fall back to the cheap shot of Mortal Kombat,
or even Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I mean, the intent is all in the player's actions. So
right. I think even in like Mortal Kombat, though, like you describing those death scenes of Laura, I've played a lot of Mortal Kombat and I've seen all the fatalities, and they don't make me like kind of at the sight of them. What you described was making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't give a shit about a lot of things, and I watched that and I was like, what are we doing here? What is this? Why am I still here? We're still watching her die?
Yeah. At least in Mortal Kombat, they're over quickly. Like you do the fatality, it's
when it's
done.
It's
there is a
comedic was what I was gonna say. Not funny comedic, but like exaggerated.
it's comedic in a sense, but there is still a dark, morbid aspect to human curiosity. And when you play a game like Mortal Kombat, seeing such extreme, crazy, and sometimes so ridiculously crazy deaths makes most people, when you're already in the heat of fighting each other and having fun, your adrenaline's up, and someone fucking finishes you, and they like fucking rip you in half and shit. Like, it's so ridiculous. You're like, oh my god.
Tarantino movies.
And it's quick and it's over. It's just like boom, and you're like, holy shit. And it's that shock value.
Right.
That's the difference. It's like the intent is to go, holy fuck, and then you're back to fighting again. But like in Tomb Raider, it's just like, look at her fucking die. Look at her, she's fucking dying. We're killing her. And I'm like, okay, can I just play again?
Yeah.
Do I have to keep watching this? There's a part where she's like going down a river, I'm fucking cracking into rocks and shit. And then she flew into a stick, and she's sitting there going, ah, and just fucking with the stick through her. I'm like, who's the sadistic fuck who's like, oh, I fucking want to kill her. I've been wanting to kill Lara Croft since I was a kid on PlayStation. And finally it's my chance. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever gets your rocks off.
Watching that gif of her diving onto the floor over and over again, it's just stuck in his head.
Dude. So anyway, anything else you want to say on that, Chris? This is one of those topics that gets me fucking just...
It's a video game.
Yeah, have fun with it. If you don't have fun with it, don't fucking play it.
Don't fucking play it, don't buy it, don't support it.
Yeah, and if you fucking hate it and you want to just disappear, don't support it. Tell your friends that don't support it. It's still gonna fucking... it's still gonna do well.
I don't like to sew. I don't buy sewing stuff. I don't talk about sewing.
This is true. This is true. I don't like poaching in real life, so I don't buy like fucking 50 cal rifles and go to Africa.
Yeah.
So don't support it. Yeah, so let's know in the comments, where are you at in Monster Hunter? What are you doing in Monster Hunter? What do you want to do in Monster Hunter? What do you think about people having a problem with Monster Hunter and games in general? Obviously, we said a lot there, so if there's anything you want to add to that, let us know. If there's any objections to what we said, fucking let us know. It's an open conversation, of course. Just be civil.
Please.
Please be civil. This is what this channel is all about. So far, we have a great community that's just full of people who just want to talk, and it's awesome. So let's keep it that way. Yeah, so we have 2 videos to watch, and I believe they're in a certain order. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so first video we're going to watch is Warhammer Vermintide 2 Kerillian Hero Spotlight. So apparently, I found this out recently, surprisingly. Warhammer Vermintide is coming out really soon. I had no idea. And they're starting to show off some of the multi-classed characters in the game. So we're going to watch that. We also are going to watch a video for Secret of Mana PS4 impressions. Now, if you're watching this today, Friday, the game has been out for a day already. You might already be playing it, but I have not purchased it yet. I still am going to buy it for sure. But it'll be interesting to kind of see what somebody who's been playing the game thinks of it. And maybe will sway us one way or the other, especially in the wake of hearing about Dynasty Warriors 9 having not so good reviews, which was really shocking, but I still want to buy it and play it, just not for $60. Let's talk about that for a second. What do you guys think about that?
I haven't looked it up enough myself to really have a solid opinion, but hearing what I had heard you say and even reading what people were saying in the Discord channel.
Join the Discord.
Good plug. You know, it does make me hesitant. So I don't know. Right now I'm trying to save up for a trip, but for the end of the year, I'm trying not to just buy every video game that comes out right now. So
what are you fucking keeping your goblin coins to yourself? You're like something out of the labyrinth.
I was really tempted to buy Owlboy on my Switch the other night. So
yeah, you're looking through games on Switch, and there's a lot of shit on there. I got Payday 2 on there. What the fuck?
Coming out soon, yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
And Bayonetta 1 and 2, which I probably will buy. Give Platinum Games some of my love. So
what were we talking about?
Dynasty Warriors.
Secret Mana? Oh no, Dynasty Warriors, yes.
Yeah, Chris, change your opinion on it at all?
No. I mean, no. I'm one of those weird fans who are just like, I need it, I want it, it's the new one, I want to try it.
It can't be bad.
Oh, they can be bad, and I've bought some before. and they've been bad. And it's kind of like, it's bad to admit, but it's like kind of a 50-50 the Dynasty Warriors these days.
For sure.
The games are really, really fun, and they have everything I'm looking for, or they're just not. And I'm just kind of caught in the middle. I'm really hoping it's interesting, but from what people are describing, how like characters don't have unique weapons anymore. The other iterations leading up to this have kind of been like kind of shifting away from that. They've been kind of branching out to having characters having multiple different weapons that they're good with. And from what I've read, they're trying to go for this one for more of a realistic appeal to the game, and less of the anime. I have a cannon that's my arm, as well as I shoot spears from my eyeballs.
Which is what I like.
I'll say I like the fantasy stuff, yeah.
The fantasy stuff is fun, but
you can't. I get what they're saying, and I get that. Like you're kind of like. It seems like you're kind of into that idea, and I kind of am too. But let's face it, man. This is a fucking historical Chinese story with fucking just ripping fucking guitar riffs. Just.
Play the actual Romance of the Three Kingdoms theme then.
Yeah.
One came out on PS4. So if you want something that's more serious, play that one.
Watch that Chinese movie with Donnie Yen and fucking
You're already losing me.
Chow Yun Fat.
Which one?
There's a trilogy out of China that came out like 8 years ago. It was like a big deal. They're really big budget movies. That was about that whole storyline. They had like every big Chinese actor in it.
The Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, but it was a very it was off-putting in the sense that like it was very they're all like, I'm gonna do this for the glory and greatness of China and the prosperity of all its people. Like everybody always had a speech like that, and I was like, this is borderline propaganda, but whatever. Not to me, just to China. Like people are gonna watch that and go China. I'm like, that's cool. Where's the action at? I got no problems with China.
I'll have to look it up. I do like Mandarin Wushu movies.
I got a bunch of them you should check out. You probably already seen some of them, or most of them. I don't know. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of them, and then I got into Japanese movies. Fucking deep dive into that fucking hellhole. But there's some really good fucking movies in there.
I will say that I'm glad to hear that there's supposedly 90 playable characters in the game.
Yeah, but I think that's awesome to know. But like when I heard that they kind of like simplified all the characters and they all kind of feel the same, it reminds me. It's a weird example, but it reminds me of Gran Turismo 5. They released it with a shitload of cars, but only the premium cars had interiors that were like individual and unique, and the not premium cars, which was like your average cars, all had like basic interiors, which didn't bother me too much, but a lot of people were very angry about it. And this sounds exactly the same. When they said 90 characters, I'm like, are they really going to be able to detail and do very unique things for 90 fucking characters?
I mean, they've done it before. They've done bigger rosters with like Orochi Warriors. They had all of Dynasty Warriors and all of Samurai Warriors, and each of them were all unique.
It had 90 characters or more?
More.
But was it off of an established game or brand new? Because I feel like they could bring those assets over, whereas this is like a brand new game, brand new engine.
I think it's probably because it was established.
Yeah, because you got to work towards that. Just like a MOBA, no MOBA comes out with a huge ass roster. It builds up to that. You got to at a time Warframe. You got to at a time fucking bring in a new dude with his new moves one at a time, and then eventually you got a huge ass roster. When you make a game and you're like, that's gotta be open world and 90 fucking characters, that's a lot of work you gotta put into like 3-4 years.
I do want to give them some credit though. One of the complaints I kept reading in the reviews was the frame rate was really bad, and they patched it like that day.
That's good.
So they were responsive to that, so good on them for that.
For sure.
But yeah, so Vermintide.
Yeah, that was a thing we're gonna do. So let's watch that. Okay, Vermintide 2, and go.
Wielding bow and blade against her enemies, and sardonic remarks against her allies.
Take your time telling us, why don't you?
Kerillian, the wandering Azray, is on both accounts capable of cutting down her chosen
Damn.
target with unparalleled finesse. The Wood Elf's journey has taken her far past Athelloren and the usual boundaries of her kith and kin. Be it
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
Kerillian will not say. but what is certain is that her departure has served as a great boon for the citizens of Ubersreich and any who battle the
Loving
Radman
the spear
sword.
play.
In Warhammer Vermintide 2,
got a shield?
every hero can choose between 3 careers, each of which possesses its own strengths,
Berserker.
weaknesses, and unique gameplay opportunities. Kerillian can choose between the masterful Waystalker, the deceptive Shade, and the honorable Handmaiden. Kerillian the Waystalker specializes in elven archery in all of its forms, be it pinpoint precision work or
So that's the original
sheer
class.
Pretty much seems like the
against
original,
the enemy
yeah.
hordes. To that end, choosing to play as the Waystalker confers a plethora of range-oriented passive abilities, including double ammo capacity, no damage fall-off at range, the
Nice.
ability to zoom while aiming, and health regeneration over time.
That'd be nice. 'Cause
Which is
that-
nice as an archer because you're already staying distanced anyway, so you can kind of go get your health back if you have to run away.
That was a hard one, part in the first game.
Any
Is,
surfaces hit. The
hit
onslaught
pool
of corruption
sucks.
Kerillian
Did you hear
has
about
endured
its move,
thus
or her
far
move?
has awoken a long dormant
It has
and malevolent
shoots
aspect
3
of
arrows
her
that
lineage.
seek out people, and you have to
Casting
hit the
off
walls
mantle
and
of
bounce
Boy
back
Watcher,
and seek people.
Kerillian the Shade treads an assassin's path, striking
Ninja.
unaware or
Look at their
distracted
eyes.
foes
Yeah.
when they
They're
are
actually
most
glowing.
vulnerable
That's
to
kinda
her
cool.
wicked blades.
Dope.
The Shade's activated ability is Infiltrate, which allows Kerillian to pass through
So this is something I
enemies
feel like I
undetected
probably
for
wanna
10
play.
seconds, or
Even though
until
the
her
spear
first
looks really
attack,
cool.
which breaks stealth but deals significant bonus damage.
How cool is it that they already had like quite a bit of different classes with a bunch of weapons in the first game, and now each one has like 3 fucking
Multiple classes
Yeah.
to them, yeah.
Slay man-sized enemies.
Let's say make a fucking, let's say make a
Kerillian's
sequel.
final career choice
To make
is the
it even harder for
Handmaiden,
Left 4 Dead 3.
revered high elf warrior of formidable martial prowess and incomparable grace. The Handmaiden favors melee combat, using a spear's reach to deliver death to her foes before their own weapons
That's
bite
cool
flesh.
looking.
As such,
Yeah.
They really
progressively
upped the gore,
gains
too.
increased dodge distance, an uninterruptible
I almost feel like
alive,
they
and a
watched,
stamina
Killing Floor
regeneration
2 a
aura
little
which
bit.
affects both
Yeah.
her and her allies. The Handmaiden's active ability is Dash, which, as the name suggests, allows Kerillian to dash through enemies and can be used
Even there are like
as
torches
either
and shit
jack
flying in the air, it's funny.
Oh, that's kind of cool. She can literally just like
Warhammer
get through a
Vermintide 2,
crowd.
including spotlights on the other 4 heroes and 12 careers. Stay tuned to IGN.
Alright, after much time trying to get that video to work, what do we think?
it's cool, and like you already kind of said it. You know, it's what you expect from a sequel. They took what they had already and they made more off of that base, and that's great. I know when we were kind of talking about it before, wanting to, what we'd like to see from it being a sequel, and that was just expanding upon it, and that's what it looks like they're doing, which is great. The only other thing I'd like to see, and they may have information I haven't been keeping up, is the loot system being a little more expanded.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty cut and dry. It's appreciated. It was, but if
To that game type, fuck yeah, I was appreciated.
yeah, but you had to put the time in, you know, to cross
yeah.
your fingers for a piece of gear. So
Really slow progression.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it sped up a little bit, or little incentives in between to kind of keep you going to the next point. Chris?
I'm glad to see the variety, and not just the fact that you can change like weapons like the old one. This is actually like specialized like classes within the class, so it's really nice. I'm excited. I like the idea of the Handmaiden, just stay away from me, run away, kind of supporty, because her revive can't be interrupted, which is really nice. But it's nice to see you can all be like the same character, technically, and all have different classes.
Yeah. I just like, too, that if you're playing in the same room with somebody else who's also playing the same character as you, that you can actually be playing differently as well, though. So it's really cool. And like we said while we're watching, too, the graphics look better, which is awesome to see.
Big time.
I already think the last one looked good already, so this one looking better looks awesome. I like that they changed the Vermintide's eyes to glow at night. That was kind of cool looking. Kind of seemed menacing. We see a bunch of fucking green eyes in a crowd. And yeah, the gore looks expanded. Like,
there's also a lot of them on screen.
yeah, no, it seems like they've improved it completely. There's one point where she swung the spear almost like a bat, and it hit a dude, and his body like flew with it, and like blood. And it just looked. I love games that like feel impactful.
Impact, yeah.
Because some games are just like, bah, 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 and they go, oh, and I'm dead. And fucking, I'm just like, okay. But like, when you go, boom, and they fucking go flying, I'm like, okay, I feel like I hit that dude.
Yeah.
I also like that they're diving a little more deeper into like the characters of Warhammer, because I don't know if you guys play much Warhammer or read much about it, but the
I know a
big
little bit about
hulky
it.
monsters that we saw are kind of like weird looking. I'm going to assume that those are part of the Chaos faction, which is like this like thing to the north that's basically like hell on earth, and they corrupt anything that comes near them, and they just become this huge, gross monstrosities. So I'm curious to see what else they'll draw into it.
And I think it was you before that said you wanted to see them do more than just the rats.
Right.
So.
Well, me and you've had a discussion a long time ago saying that it'd be cool if they expanded it into other parts of the lore as well, because you can't just keep doing Vermintide forever. Like the event of Vermintide, but like, because I read up on it, but like that specific type of enemy, you got to add something else to it, and it'd be cool later to see like even like orcs and stuff,
multi-faction stuff
get
as
involved,
well.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm really stoked for it. Apparently, it's coming out next month, March. Yeah. I heard they're like, oh, it's coming. Here's a teaser, and then I saw this video. I'm like, shit, that's going in March.
Right?
There's no breaks this year so far.
You better get to working on the corner, Chris.
All over again.
Why is it always the beginning of the year?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I feel like this year's just gonna be fucking every month.
Why is that becoming the standard? I hate it.
Yeah, so the next video. Oh, let's know in the comments what you think about Vermintide. Did you play the first one? We did it for, what was that, Plus Club, or did we do that for Game of the Month?
Game of the Month, I think it
Game
was.
of the
Oh,
Month,
actually, wasn't it?
It was something. We did a video on it, so make sure to go check that out if you want to know what we thought about it. We liked it. But yeah, play it if you haven't. It's a really good game, but this one's coming out, so skip it and play this one if you want. But play it. It's really fun. If you like Left 4 Dead type games, it's pretty much that. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on Vermintide and Vermintide 2. Second video we're watching is Secret of Mana PS4 Remake Preview Impressions, done by somebody. Don't know his name. It's like Lemon something.
Yeah.
He's a lemon boy.
We're having loading issues again, so...
Alright, we're going to watch Secret of Mana PS4 Remake Preview Impressions done by Lemon Eating Cow. Make sure to check that dude out. Never heard of him, but he did a video and we're going to watch it, so I need to at least mention him. It would be awful if I didn't. Yeah, so like I said before, this game's out now. You might be playing already, but if you are curious about it, we're going to listen to a dude talk about it. Alright, let's go.
G'day guys, Lemon Eating Cow here, and today I am back with my hands-on
Arx here.
impressions of the Secret of Mana remake for the PS4. This is also coming out for the PS Vita and the PC via Steam on the 15th of February 2018. You can pre-order it digitally now and get some free bonus content, or you can pre-order the physical copy from certain countries and retailers. The link will be down in the
Apparently the
description
physical
below.
copy is going to be
I was lucky
limited
enough
as well.
to get invited by Square Enix down to their Australian
So if you
office,
want it, you
and
better
I got
get
to
it now.
play about an hour and a half or so of the most current build of the Secret of Mana.
What is that face?
PS4. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. The second that I picked up that controller, it really did feel like I was playing Secret of Mana. Despite the fact that we have got upgraded graphics and voiceovers and new music, and a few things have been tweaked here and there, it does feel a lot like a Secret of Mana game. And I think despite
Damn, that's
the
slow-mo.
that is surrounding the graphics and various things with the promotion of this game, it does feel like Secret of Mana, and I feel like the devs have put a lot of work into making it a real faithful recreation of the original game. So I know the graphics is a big point of contention for a lot of people, but I honestly think that they couldn't have approached the graphics from pretty much any other perspective. If they had gone with a really cutting-edge modern engine, I don't think it would have been Secret of Mana anymore. I think this graphic style is pretty good because it won't show its age too early. Generally this type of over-stylized cartoon type of graphics will tend to look good for a
Reminds me of a
lot people,
Dreamcast
whereas
game,
if you
though.
use modern graphics that are kind of cutting edge for their time, you often find within 5
Oh, yeah,
to 10
definitely.
years they may look very outdated. The original previews that are floating around for
Skies of
Secret of Mana
Arcadia.
Remake at the moment were with the original build of the demo, but I've played a later one, and they have gone through and added almost like an extra layer, an extra shading layer.
I like the
all
way
of
it looks.
visuals.
So do I.
The visuals are looking a lot better than they did in the original. So as far as the sound
I think
and voice
expecting to
goes,
look
I know
just like the
this is
Super
another big
Nintendo
point
is
for people, but there is
unrealistic.
voice acting in this
I
game
think they
which,
put more
for
effort
the most
into
part,
this
it's okay.
than they
It's
did
nothing
in
standout or spectacular,
when they
but
did
by the same
the
token,
mobile
it's certainly not
remakes
great
of a lot
either,
of the Final Fantasy
completely
games,
unlistenable.
and they made them look really plain.
Yeah. We're not supposed to be here. Everyone in the village knows about the ghost.
Sassy.
Even I know about the fucking ghost.
Dude, look how pissed he is.
He's
the
beef,
fact that there
dude.
is
He
no,
hung.
Gangs.
syncing with the voiceovers. Honestly, the most jarring
Like
part
Gain
of
in
this
his
is
gut.
probably the first scene when you're on the log and the kid with the overbite or the big buck teeth is talking. He is probably the most jarring point because
Why are those
you can
basic
see that
ass
open
dudes
mouth
hanging out with
and,
this dude dressed like this?
he's-
Bye,
the
Randy.
voiceover is saying things, but his mouth isn't moving.
They don't give a shit.
I don't know. It's a
Damn.
terrible way to start off, honestly.
This is troubling.
Why is that?
Legend says
Oh, I can hear the
the sword
music.
can only be retrieved by a knight when the world is in peril.
But as I played the game, I really stopped noticing it being a thing. I just kind of looked at the characters. I don't feel that you really need to read their lips when they're saying their lines.
If everyone's doing
It's
across
one
the
of those
board, doesn't
things,
bother
I
me.
suppose the dev could go full on into the
Pull
lip
play,
syncing for
right?
the voiceovers, but
Yeah,
there
play.
is the issue there that if they don't do a good enough job with localization and the lip syncing in general, then it's probably going to
The
be
sprite
a
line.
bigger issue than not having lip syncing at all.
I actually
Like, if the character
agree with
says
that
a
completely.
one-word sentence and his
It's better
lips
for them to
only
not
come
even worry about
8 or 9
lips
words,
than
then
to
that's going to be a huge issue
do a really
and it makes it
poor
funny
job,
and
because I
ridiculous.
use the
So
example of Final Fantasy
I kind
X.
of respect the fact that they fall
Love
with
that
it
game, but
and,
watching their mouths move when they
and
talk,
just put no
hate it.
lip syncing.
Fucking hate it.
Yeah, but lip syncing in multiple
Honestly,
regions is so standard now. They've got it down and have had it down for a long time. But
Not some small team making
in a
that shit,
game
yeah.
like this, you know, I get them. They didn't spend a whole lot of time working on this. They have a whole lot of people working on it.
Yeah.
The music has been fully redone for this remake. It has been fully orchestrated and it sounds modern and good.
Nice.
But also it does sound like the original soundtrack. So I was quite happy with the remake of the soundtrack.
Oh, the
that
Pineapple
they did.
Boss.
But again, there is the option that you can switch it back to the original 16-bit version if you so choose.
Oh, so
That's
it's
cool.
both, yeah.
Gameplay and
Yeah,
how
that's
overall
awesome.
mechanics go, I can say that as soon as I picked up that controller and started moving my character around,
much is
it
this game?
felt like Secret of Mana,
I
which
don't know, but
is,
I'm
I
like-
suppose, it's a huge
Yeah.
advantage for me. But I can imagine
I like how you struggled with like.
That's my favorite sentence ever.
I'm
I'm
I
gonna
don't
get,
know,
I'm
but
gonna get it.
Definitely gonna get it. Me too.
I want to get a physical
minor,
copy.
but
I don't
actually
want
pretty
to
big
the digital
deal.
copy.
I would like to get a physical copy too. It's one of those games that you want to have in your collection.
It's
Yeah.
legend.
Very much feels
I'm just worried I
like
might
the
be able to
original.
find
So
one.
for that, I'm
Yeah.
very happy. So combat
Oh, you'll
does
be able
work
to
the
find
same
one.
way.
You just might not like
have
the price
little
point.
Gauge that builds up to 100%. You can hold down your button to overcharge that and do
Yeah,
overcharge.
see if
moves.
Amazon has them.
One thing that has changed
I'm
about
on
your combat
Amazon.
is the
Oh.
fact that
They have
the
digital
hitboxes
codes.
are quite different.
Dumb,
In the original, I
dumb,
remember
dumb.
It did say it
I'm
depends on the
playing
country
right
as
now,
well.
and I find
So
it very
physical.
Yeah, the
frustrating
thing I
because
read was talking about that there's going to be physical copies, but they're going to be limited. So once they're gone, they're
hitboxes
gone.
will be so out that it won't even register as an evasion or 0 damage. It'll just simply not even hit the enemy.
I want to play this.
So
Is this going to
for
have
the most
multiplayer?
part, well, for pretty much the whole part, all the hitboxes have been
I don't
fixed
know.
up. and
$40
I
though.
find that point of frustration.
That's only 40
and not
bucks.
being able
It's the
to
highest
hit
I'd want it
enemies.
to be, so.
That's a really good point. The stun locking mechanic, or the mechanic where you hit an enemy and they kind of get stunned and you have a chance to build up an attack and hit them again, still is in this game, and that's true for your character as well. I found on the first boss, I did kind of get into a bit of a loop of he would hit me, put me under a spell, hit me again under a spell. So you can still get that same type of stun lock mechanic, but it's a lot harder to get into that situation here, as the stun animation seems to be reduced a fair amount. I didn't get the opportunity to actually use magic. I only got up to the point where I unlocked the second player, the sprite. So I didn't really get to use magic and see if you can stun lock or just straight up kill the bosses by spamming magic on them. So
See, like, look at that and look at the new game. I don't think I think it's a fine
I did
like
get to use the sprite
upgrade.
for a little bit.
People
but I
were
really
just
didn't get
expecting
that much
another
opportunity to play
sprite
around.
game,
I
and
don't know whether they still have this screen lock.
They did, and they did some kind of like
In
cool
the
like
original, if you tried
pixel
to
art
lock
type
the
thing.
screen
I
and
kind of
the
get behind it, but I
it's
mean, like,
stuck behind
if
the
you
wall,
take that side by
there's
side with
something
this, I
that's
think it's
stopping you
actually
from
pretty
progressing, and you have to
accurate.
go back and kind of stick them. I don't know if
I've
that has
heard
been
a
addressed
couple
in
Japanese
this
developers
particular
now.
build, but
They don't
I really hope it's
understand
something they deal with in the future. So other
the
things,
wanting
gameplay
games to
or
look
UI-wise,
old.
there has been a little bit of an update
They
to the UI,
wanna
but it's still
games should always
uses
be
that
looking
same
nicer and
loop
nicer and
system.
nicer for
I know
them,
quite a few
type
people
thing.
have a
So
problem with this, but me, not so much. It just means
as
a
for
little bit of
Wii,
extra
Square's
money, but
Square's all
I'm
about
too fussed
that. They
about it.
they have that
But
whole
the menus
statement
have
talking
been
about
overhauled
all their
a little
games
bit.
they
You can
want
see a
to
lot
be always
more
looking towards the future.
information when you
That's why they
actually
didn't want to do
go
Final
into
Fantasy
these
VII for the
different,
longest time.
ring sections like your stats and things like
Then they
that.
had to
A
because
big
fucking
improvement as
they
well
fucked
is
up,
the fact that
and
when
we
you go
want
to
it,
equip your
and now they're gonna
items,
give
you
it to
don't
us
go through
because they're gonna make us
multiple
happy.
probably besides the fact that they were
and you can see some more detailed information
declining
such
as a
your
company
defense,
for a while there.
magic defense, and your
I'm sure they got
magic
tired
as
of everyone
well.
going,
So,
"Gimme,
you can
gimme,
see that
gimme,
they're gonna
gimme."
focus. So I guess talking about equipment and stats, unfortunately in this build, as far as I could see, when you go into a shop to buy new
Damn,
equipment,
son, that
it
guy's
doesn't
fucking
actually
breaking
tell
it
you
down.
if the equipment's better or not. It'd be nice to even just
Can't
see
even put
a
Secret
thing
of Mana
with a
into
little
Best Buy's
up arrow
website. It
next to
literally
the
brings
character's
it
name
up
or
the
just
Japanese
something
title
simple
of
like
the
that, but
soundtrack.
it still seems like a system where you have to buy the piece of equipment
Yeah.
and then judge whether or not it's good. So I really hope they
At that
address
point, I
that
was
in the
Google
future. And while
physical
we're talking about
copy.
shopkeepers, yes, the dancing shopkeepers have made a return.
Yeah,
so
I
you
get
can
it.
now confidently
Dude, that guy's
order
busting a
knowing
fucking
that you will
move.
get dancing shopkeepers. As far as the appearance of weapons and armor still doesn't show up on your character despite whatever different suit you may get. But with the pre-order of the game, you will actually get a Moogle suit and a Tiger suit. And I think for Prim or Miguel,
Damn.
you get a two-piece of either of those.
Game's
So I was able
doesn't
to
it?
have a look at the Moogle suit and the Tiger
Physical
suit in
copies?
this one.
Wow,
And they
trying
look
to get to that still,
hella
but-
cute. They look so cute, and I think they're actually...
I love the Moogle
I know I'll
suit.
be rocking the Moogle suit around.
I need a full Moogle
I think it's
suit.
quite a
Where
cool
can I get
addition.
one?
You didn't pre-order
And
it.
if you're wondering
No,
why
like
they
for
kind of
me.
included a Moogle suit,
Gotta
and
pre-order
Tiger
it.
suit, these are actually equipped.
Send
Get
me
a-
measurements. I might be able to
Makes
make you
sense,
one.
yeah. Hopefully, in the future, we'll see a few more
Damn,
DLCs
that'd be
and
dope.
maybe some Final Fantasy crossovers or something like that.
Yeah,
I would be
GameStop doesn't have
really
physical
keen
either.
in seeing more.
Oh,
The appearance of
well.
the weapons have been upgraded.
Guess
here
I
too.
just
In the
buy it
original,
digitally and
just
play
pretty
it
much when you
faster.
upgraded weapon, you get a recolor of it. But in this one,
Or
you do get
earlier.
a dramatic difference in the appearance of your weapon when you use a weapon orb through the blacksmith. So we can see here we have the Mana sword, and it looks kind of just rusty and dingy. But as soon as we upgrade it, it kind of takes on the look of an S-stock or maybe a rapier. So it'll be really cool to see
A rapier.
the different weapon appearances. I'm a big
Interesting.
one for armor appearances and weapon appearances in the game, so I'm really glad that they're going to have so many variations in the game. Hopefully they don't use too many reskins, but I have confidence that they're going to have some pretty kick-ass weapon appearances in this one. So the build I did play seemed fairly complete from what I saw. It does really feel like it's in that beta stage and pretty much ready for release. There needs to be, of course, a lot of more polishing and stuff on it, but generally, if it got released in something like the current
I hope this
state
does
of it,
well,
I
and they
think
do
it'd
the
play
rest
like
of
a
the
pretty damn good
Mana
game.
games as well.
It'll be really
That'll be
interesting
dope.
to see what they do with the latter.
I'd love to
half
see
of the game.
Legend of Mana.
feel
I loved
like
that game.
Towards the end, some of the palaces and things like that, particularly like the Moon Palace, or where you get the Lumia summon or the Elemental, things like that feel really, really rushed and kind of cut short. So hopefully they kind of tweak them or maybe add to them a little bit in the final build, but it's yet to be seen. So overall, my impression of the game is incredibly positive, and I'm really, really excited for the release. Like, I am a long-term fan of Secret of Mana, and I really
I've
do
never
want the
heard
best
of
for the
it.
franchise. So if I felt that it was really a
Outplaced, I never heard
I
of.
would have no problems in telling Square Enix about their shortcomings, but I think the path they're on is really quite good, and it is a very faithful
we've been saying that too.
reproduction of the original.
What?
There is the
He said he didn't have a
possibility
problem
that I will be going down
talking
to
about
Square Enix again for
Square
another round
Enix's
of this
shortcomings,
demo,
and he said
possibly
the path they
a
seem to
more
be on
updated
right now is
one,
good.
but I'm
Yeah.
not sure of that.
And yeah, we've
If
been
it
saying
does,
that
I
too.
think
Glad to hear
I'd
that.
like to hear from you guys for some questions or maybe some
Sometimes I
comments
see that, and
pass
people
on
still
to
look at me like,
Square
what? I'm
Enix,
like,
and then hopefully
you weren't paying attention, dog.
Yeah, they dipped real bad, but that was a lot of the Japanese market in general.
Again, if you'd
Yeah,
like to
yep.
pre-order
And
the
it's-
game,
That's why we keep talking about there's a resurgence, because like they're all kind of killing right now. Even Capcom.
Most of the games I've bought in the last like 2 years are Japanese.
So
Me
I
too,
hope you have
and
enjoyed this video.
that's
If
weird.
you have, please leave a thumbs up. If you got any comments or suggestions or like
All
any
right, that
questions
was
for Square Enix in the
that.
future,
What
then
did we
please leave them
think?
in the comment
Overall
section.
impressions
And-
of that bullshit?
I'm buying it.
You're buying it?
I'm buying it.
I'm buying it too.
I was gonna anyways, but that helped.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of reaffirmed. Like I kind of wanted it to be what I saw. Seeing that, I'm like, okay, it's exactly what I wanted. $40, I think, is a fair price. It looks like it's gonna be a fun game, and looks pretty accurate to the original.
I'll say I actually really like the way it looks. I can't.
Yeah, so do I.
I think it's funny that people were weird about that.
I think,
I think it's nostalgia.
yeah, there's no right or wrong to this. This is
No,
subjective.
no.
So like, there are people that are just going to be used to our style and they don't want to budge from it, or they just like it so much that they don't want to look any other way. And I get that, but I mean, I'm the dude over here. Like most people, fucking really excited for Final Fantasy VII remake. That's not going to look the same at all. So it's all stylistic choice.
For sure.
I mean,
it really comes down to like when they're doing these when they do change the look, does it still kind of feel the same? I think this one does feel the same. And like I said,
I think it looks charming.
Like, give an example. Look at the original Final Fantasy VI and then look at the cell phone version of it and tell me they even remotely treated it the same way.
Oh yeah, there's some games that they completely make it look completely like fucking different. Like it's like a whole, like even tonally, it's not there. That looked tonally the same.
Yeah.
The best thing I saw in that video was at one point he showed a similar area in the original, and then they showed the new version, and I was like, it literally just looks like a 3D version of what we just looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's perfect. That's the fucking point, you know? Without all those weird pixel textures, which I'm actually not a huge fan of. So those old school fucking.
I think it has a charm.
Sure,
Yeah.
of the time, but like it always looks really like not that game in particular, but like a lot of those games where they really try to texture the rocks and shit, especially like in Nintendo games like that, it just looks muddy and just fucking busy, and I we've come a long way since then, so we can clean that up. Yeah,
and I think there is good ways, as I think we were just shown, to bring the old look to the new without deviating too much. So
I'm just hoping this has multiplayer. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Chris, thoughts?
I'm just excited. I want to get it now.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I'm thinking about fucking hopping on PSN after filming this and getting it downloading.
I gotta wait till payday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts on it? I mean, we're kind of all on the same page. It looked awesome. We want it.
Well, I mean, really, the only thing I have to, and I said it earlier, is I hope it does well enough that they can do that with not even just Secret of Mana, but even like other old titles of theirs from that era. I mean, hell, people are gonna hate me for this, but like even like Chrono Trigger, for example.
Yeah.
People are going to be super defensive of that game, and understandably I get it. It has a huge fandom, but at the same time, just like with Final Fantasy VII being remade, you don't have to play the remake. You can go back and play the original still.
Just because there's a remake of something doesn't mean the original doesn't exist anymore. This comes up with movies all the time.
Yeah.
A remake of a movie will come out, but you're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, you have to watch it. The other one's still there.
Yeah.
Watch that. Like, you don't have to watch it. They want to be like, this is the new version. The other one's erased.
Well, there's so many people still that when I'm going to go off here a little bit in a different direction, but the Final Fantasy VII remake, right? I still see right now in comment sections people bringing it up, they're like, oh, it's going to be like Final Fantasy 15. It's ruined, blah, blah, blah. Like, the game isn't out yet. How do you know it's ruined?
Well, they're making it's okay to
Here's the thing: people are stuck on the active time battle system, and I love active time battle, right? But I also love the idea of seeing the characters I love and whatnot fighting in a more fluid manner as well. I like imagine how cool combat can be if it's not turn-based. So
I think both routes that they could have went with that game are fine. If they kept it traditional, I would love it. The new way, they can fuck it up. I don't think they will. But you're playing the game again, right? You're gonna get the same story, hopefully with way better cutscenes and a way more immersive and experienced and just cool world that you're gonna be able to see in a whole new way. Now the gameplay, changing it up is going to make the experience feel different and new again, which is, I think, a positive. You're going to experience the same game in a different light, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. As for people, predicting what's going to be like, it's whatever, I do that too. It doesn't mean it's going to be right or wrong or whatever, but and if they're being negative, they're being negative, but they're allowed to be. But in a sense, yeah, just wait till it comes out and see
if it comes out and it's trash, then it's trash. But if it comes out and maybe you'll be surprised, maybe you like the way it plays. So I mean, I don't know. It's weird to me.
It doesn't bother me too much, just because you can be worried about a game before it comes out. But I think those people are being a little too traditional. They're too worried about it staying the same, but it's another to each their own situation.
And I get that. And I am also worried about it because it is one of my favorite games ever.
Me too.
But I also have no control over the situation.
I also don't think 15 was fucking bad, so I don't care if I go that direction. Yeah.
Especially after beating it, I think I have some nitpicks, but overall it's a good game.
I have nitpicks in most games. There's a few games I'd go, there's nothing wrong with that game.
Yeah. Story progression is probably one of my biggest nitpicks with 15, but the story's there, it makes sense, and I love. I can't talk about too much. I really wish you'd play it because it's not that long of a game if you just go through the story. The ending.
I only got one 130-hour game in me every 10 years, man.
It's not even that long. You could beat it in 20, 30 hours. But anyways, the ending's right up your alley, I think.
That's a lot of time. So, people fucking die. It's tragic. People cry. I love that shit. What were we talking about? We're talking about fucking Secret of Mana. We're all gonna buy it. Looks awesome. I'm gonna try that. Find that fucking physical copy. Wish me luck. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about Secret of Mana? Are you playing it already? Have you played it already? Are you gonna buy it? Do you not want to fucking buy it? You don't want to play this shit. You hate secrets. You don't like when people keep things from you. So that's why you won't play this. And fuck Mana, because it's the devil's fucking brew. Let us know in the comments. What do you think about that? But unless anybody else has something to say, I think it's going to do for this episode of Tastecast, episode 53. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out the streams on Twitch. Tasty Senpai. Find me on there. I will be uploading those to the channel when I'm done streaming, and you can see them here afterwards. Check out Chris on Twitch as well at tasty_fruit. And yeah, I think that's everything. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Until the next episode, which will be Tuesday after this weekend and after Monday. Until then, have a good weekend, guys, and a great Monday, and take it easy.
See you on Discord.